Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mia. I'm going to do this video with this view, and I'm going to try to do another one for the members only. So I don't have any members yet. I have some videos set aside. Some of them will be a little bit more personal since I have this channel open, and I have my nickname and my real name combining because of Google imaging. So this is the back door. It leads to like a kind of haphazard parking lot, and it's like this with the opening here, like, which is our side door, which is on the side over there, and then it's got a small opening here if you can go behind some vehicles. And this also, you can see dumpsters and a whole bunch of trash cans and recycling bins. So that's our view. I try to tell somebody that it's really hard to live and not be able to go outside because there's a fire escape that's like tipping over, or it's about to, looks like it's going to tip over anytime and rust through. And then there's this much space, so like this door, and it's a driveway that cars, trucks, semi-trucks, everything, and it's really narrow, so it's not like you could set a chair there, and like it's kind of like a blind corner. People come through, you stand out there and watch, stand in the doorway, you see people on their phones, or you'll see them hit this other building with their truck and stuff. So I have a couple plants here. Most of them died. Somebody under me. There was just some chaos and loudness, and now there's somebody under me. There's full moon today, and Chinese Year of the Dragon, and Mercury retrograde. Yeah, these people are leaving. I have to actually leave. But I got some important paperwork to do for my clinic, so I can't take that out in public. I'm trying to see if there's a fax machine. I'm trying to see if nope, nothing came in. I don't think. I gotta try to get a fax and double check and make sure I don't have it. Let's go through some mail. I gotta actually find some. Let's go through this mail. I had an allergy about my kind of being told the stuffs in my feelings so that I could do the task at hand. But with this therapy session, you pretty much like stuff the feelings and don't deal with them. And I'm just like, nope, I had to say something like, that's not how I roll. Like, I sat in an AA meeting and recommitted to myself that I would not do that. And I think maybe the topic or whoever chaired that meeting likely said something about dealing with your feelings. And I feel like like you can say, I used to tell myself, like, I feel really sad because my pet died or this happened. I'm going to let myself be sad for a day or an hour or 20 minutes or whatever, and then I'm going to get back on track because I don't want to just dismiss it and be heartless, you know? And so many people say, no, you can't. I had a teacher die, and I found out the day I found out and the day of the funeral or the celebration of life at my medical school. I got in trouble both times for looking like I was crying, even though I was crying. I stopped crying like before my clinic shift, and I washed my face and did whatever. And I also had some stress being a single mom with my adolescence and being just worn out, trying to get my son into a special school, and my people were trying to exploit my dad, and my dad has nothing to do with my kids or their finances or anything, or is not responsible for paying, like, you know, if my kid's dad would have been a man and a parent, he would have contacted my dad about helping get my kids through, at least age 18, let alone, good grief, the rate of college now. But people were like, oh, you have a dad. Oh, can he pay? Or like, what is your scholarship? I have no money. I might be able to get a little bit of help. Or I have this amount of money. It shouldn't be like that. It should be like, what's your tuition? And what type of scholarships do you have? Not just... So, anyways, it would have been a really good school for my son. I'm really mad that I'm so poor and people are so exploitive. Like, there's scholarships for a reason. And sometimes if you help somebody and then they get to work or even come up on some money, when do you think about, oh, when I was really down and out, this place helped me, and I only have $10, but here's $10. But what if like 1,000 people gave $10 that day, or that year, or that month? Like, alright, so here's a Best Buy thing. So I'm not trying to be like, oh, they didn't help me, so I'm not going to help them. It's just that because we didn't get the help that I felt would really help our family, that I ended up more poor. And when you get accommodations because of physical and mental and developmental disabilities, you can help build up the family. There's no guarantee, but I feel like you have a little bit of a chance. What I learned in school about PBS and Sesame Street type shows, they saw that the inner city kids, this was segregation was happening. It wasn't separate but equal. It was separate and unequal. So the kids weren't learning, and if they had standardized tests, they weren't learning the way that segregated white schools or non-black schools were two separate entities taking the same test, and then the black school's doing bad. And it ends up saying, hey, what if we get some funding and put together these programs to help little kids learn stuff, anything that you learn with those kid shows. And they didn't have the resources in their homes, the black kids, to watch those shows and learn, but the white kids who already had good books, teachers that were wanting to be in those neighborhoods, dealing with, well, there wasn't a really white flight yet, because there probably was. There's segregation and then integration and white flight and all this stuff. Those people took the tax money with them, even if their homes were taxed at a lower rate than the inner city or black neighborhood homes. And which I see right here, people that have tons of land, waterfront properties, farmland that they rent out, big old houses, family compounds, they're paying this much tax. And these houses, less than a tenth of an acre, this much, then tax on top of tax. Like, it's like, and it's because the people that wrote the rules wrote them to benefit themselves based on what the property was being used for, and it takes money to make money, and then when you make money, you save more money. So it's not even a matter of, like, you're just making poor people poorer, and you're putting more money. Why are the rich getting richer? Just because if you're playing Monopoly, you start with a certain amount of money, and when somebody captures your money, then you're out of the game, aren't you? You gotta, like, sell off all your properties, and you're left with nothing, and the other person has got a pile. That's pretty much simple as that. There's so many things in life, like, I'm not saying that it's easy. If somebody pours and doesn't have insurance or have Medicaid, doesn't want to pay anything, if their kid gets cancer, somebody wealthy who could pay cash for the best medicine, their kids get cancer, it doesn't make, it makes it like money shouldn't be an issue. What should be the issue is loving your child and hoping for the best. But the disparity makes it much more stressful, and the outcome, you don't know. You can't really predict. Potentially, the wealthy family has a chance for a different outcome, or at least a treatment, at least different things, but you don't know if that treatment might not work. How many people are you going to go to? So I had an hour to get to the post office. I already went, but it was too early. Here's the Best Buy Christmas. What is this? Theragun Mini. What is that? Massage gun. Electric bike with 30-mile max operating range. That's not that far, is it? Segway electric kick scooter. This was never even opened. So let's just go through this entire thing together. I want it so bad to do a kind of video like this, and then let's see if I can come back after the post office and do another video. I wanted this to be open. Alright, so these strips with oil, instead of putting oil in the shredder, it's going to be right on the shredder for now. There is some random car stuff. So we have gas cap, light that I don't know how that works. Got an old mask. So I'll go through this later. This isn't my stuff. Got this little light. It's got some bolts, plugs, and a guide. It's really clean. I was still hoping to have a here's a referral for lumbosacral physical therapy from 11/13. So I had a really bad problem with that. And here's the coupon for this place. Took over that place that broke my Seiko watch. So it's expired, so it doesn't even matter. I didn't know it was like a franchise until, or at least they have different locations, until the other day. I thought it was going to be the people who are employees there were taking it over, but it was just a bunch of rumors. The rumors were dispelled. People were like, no, they're not taking it over, it's closing, this or that. And then it closed, and then next thing you knew, they're sending me mail, so they also sold their mailing list. But I got a bunch of watches that need help. Okay, here's the stack amount. Let's pull several pieces so you can see it. This is really annoying. Here is an appointment. Dr. Levy. I should like that person. There's something for my bills stapled together. This can go in the file cabinet. What is this for? This can go in the trash. This is a whole crate. There's some stuff I faxed. I'm gonna fax this stuff again. What is this? Oh, I was receiving $32. I received that. Let's put that in there. Telephone modem. We don't need this box. I don't know. There's more from this jeweler. Here's my card for my healthcare, copy of my healthcare card. So we'll go through this. I'll come back. Here's the mask. Some of the stuff is from the printer, like fax printer. Some of it is from, I don't know why the mail is in here, but there's office stuff here by the back door. This is in the kitchen. There's office stuff in the middle room by the back. There's office stuff in the closet that I was going to use as an office because it has shelves. But with clothes in there, you can't get in it, and there's no light in there. You have to crawl down like that with a headlamp or a flashlight. So I was trying to move stuff out. And then there's a secretary in the bedroom. If somebody's in their sleep, I can't go in and out of my drawer. So then I have a bunch of packaging supplies, tape and stuff for my stores and personal stuff I send out in the middle room. And then I have, by my file box, there's a printer in the closet on the floor, that one closet. And then there's a desk with another printer behind it, which is supposed to be my backup printer for, I gotta fax this. Oh, is this the new one? One of these I gotta fax it back. There's a, how do you say, like a standing desk, but there's more mail behind it. So I was using the analogy of, you bring the mail in, you stack it up, like stuff my feelings. But what you should learn to do, like, when you have stuffed feelings, you gotta deal with it. Like, you don't want a fire house. You don't want to, everything goes up in smoke. So then you need to say, hey, file that stuff, recycle this stuff, shred this stuff. Some stuff needs to be filled out, mailed, or faxed back. The stuff that's in the to file is, a lot of it could be like, I don't really need it. Like, I met a friend who had a really clean house. She's like, what I do is I don't save paper. Like, fair. Like, what do I do? What do I do if I have a disagreement with the bank? She's like, well, I'd rather have my house clean than to and pay the money. So if you got to get a document that's not online, you didn't save, 100 years worth of bank statements for every kind of bank account and every credit card, like, you can pay, was it $20 an hour plus the shipping or whatever it is. Here's some credit cards that nobody is thinking. I don't even know if we have this as an account, but it's got my name on it, but it's not mine. So it's going in the file. So it's hard when the file one gets big, because then it's like more clutter. So this is a reminder for one of my business things I signed up for. I signed up for doula certification, something, and I never heard back from them. So I need to look that up. It is for the West Coast, but I plan on going back. Here's another $100 off $500 purchase or more. I'm not gonna have that kind of money, and it's expired, so that's how that's in here. It's a lot of stuff from the holidays. I was gonna do a 30-day pause and just upload old videos, and then if I felt like I needed to share stuff in real time, that I would just film it and then not upload new stuff, just upload the archived, kind of, not archived, but like non-posted videos as random. What is this? Order gift cards. But I've been trying to balance my work with housekeeping, and I read in a friend's ADHD, they don't work anymore, or they work for themselves, but they have income to pay for their life. disability or something, and they talk about this task and being exhausted and this other issues, but I can relate to what they say. But if they know that their rent's paid and that they have food and that they can feed their cats and dogs and they don't have kids, you feel like, I don't know what that feels like because I don't have that kind of support. And, but I can relate to the mind, and the thought that just came to my mind was, you got to be in control. And you could say that, I was watching a movie and the mother had, I don't know if she had bipolar disorder, but she had bipolar, but depression was definitely a part of it. And unaliving was a part of this movie, and the serotonin levels were discussed in this movie briefly. And what's really sad is there's a lot of papers in here. Some of this fact stuff I'm gonna leave. But what's sad is you're supposed to be getting treatment of a condition that is a thing with your mind. Not that your mind is bad, in my opinion, but it's hard to do what you need to do in this environment or world. If I'm in the United States, this Western way of doing things is set up for certain types of people. And women's rights. I know a lot of people that are white that say their grandma stayed home and kept the house clean and took care of kids. What's wrong with people today? They don't clean their house. Where this person got dirty dishes in the sink. Like, well, your grandma and your mom stayed home and had husbands who worked one job and could pay for their house in the suburbs where the mom and grandma could play bridge and go to church and be part of the garden club. But I never heard of any of my relatives staying home except for one that had severe disability. And for all I know, she was out working, but every woman and man were working a lot, getting paid a very little bit. And people say, well, your family was not smart. You should have had someone get a job that paid a living wage so that everyone didn't suffer and the kids didn't suffer. When I work, highly educated, I go into this thing where I find out that everybody around me who's less qualified, has been there a lot less amount of time, is making more money than me. And then they're going to look at me and say, I'm careless because I'm in debt. I'm careless because I have really bad Medicaid. Or I pay for my insurance with my work $700 a month with a $30,000 deductible. And I'm only making $1,400 a month. And my hours get shrunk. Not because I'm bad. My supervisor called people, oh my gosh, you did such a great job. I can't believe, we've never seen it like this. We've never seen so many happy people. Our numbers went up. You keep the restaurant sparkling. You keep this. People are asking, even my medical job, people are calling the front desk asking for you to draw blood from kids and this and that. Like, really? My supervisors don't usually say that. They want to try to find something flawed. Like, sometimes the supervisor is the one calling. But you get one person come in and say, Mia did this, I didn't do that. That happened on my day off. You guys just try to set me up by plotting, and you know full well that you plotted on my day off because you sat around and talked about how you were going to plot with the other workers. And then I end up losing my job. So people say, that's your problem for not getting good education, not being a good worker, not being honest, having kids out of wedlock, being a crackhead, having kids out of wedlock with different men and this and that. No. I self-medicated due to my disability and abuse. That doesn't mean that was right just because I didn't get health care and they did. I was married to my ex-husband, the father of both of my children, for 10 years before I finally was filing for divorce as a homeless woman with 2 kids in Portland, living in shelters and transitional houses. And before that, sleeping on couches, sleeping in a tent when I was still with him. I was young, we had planned to go to Arizona, get him into college, and me finish my internship before the kids were born, when I was on birth control. We got kicked out of our hotel that we had paid for like 1 or 2 weeks of hotel in Arizona. It was pet friendly, but he was out walking the cat because our cat liked to go for walks, and she wanted to use the bathroom outside like a dog because that's how she was. And she used to go on just regular walks with a leash before we were living in a tent. So I don't even think he was walking the dog, but the manager or whoever was at the front desk comes and asks my ex what the heck he's doing wandering around. My cat looked like a kitten. She was small, and I think it was dark out. And he basically was like, oh, I'm taking the cat to take out like a crap, basically. But he used a different word because she was really snobby, and it like caught him off guard. And she called the police immediately. And before he came back and said, pack immediately, we're kicked out. The police are coming. And sure enough, the police waited there while we packed and got out. And this blonde white lady, complained and said that he was harassing her. We were down and out. Our moms had just died, and we wanted so hard to keep the animals alive and safe and keep the hotel room clean. We paid in full in advance, and they said we have 5 minutes, and we were homeless. And I don't know if they didn't believe us. She said that he was harassing her and using very poor language. But like I said, she ran up on him in the dark, and he's taking the cat to go poop. And I don't know if she thought he was casing the place, but like I said, Sammy would walk around and go up and down the street on a leash. Now it's normal. That was in the 90s, so she wasn't even on a leash, which probably looked. But she knew when we were in the tent, she used the toilet as needed. And she had 4 kittens, and I had a dog and a goldfish. When she was in the hotel, she knew that, like a dog, they go to the door and they wait for you to go walk. Like, I mean, they're not rocks. Animals know how to control their humans and how to do. She wasn't messing in the hotel, or she wasn't peeing on the carpet. She wasn't spraying anything. I realized she was really well behaved. Dog wasn't messing on anything. I did tear up a bunch of tissues and stuff with it for the kittens, but I think the mother, I did make a litter box for them. Their mother cleaned them up. They were like very small kittens, but that crushed her dreams of putting him into college and me finish my internship. So then we had to try to establish, you're going to go get a job. We were homeless because we got kicked out during my mom's funerals and his mom's death of spring of 1998. We had both agreed that Arizona would be a good place, and we were in Flagstaff. I think there's a college there. He was going to go to school, and I was going to go to school. And my dad was trying to send us stuff, so we came out of the woods, camping for 2 weeks or whatever, went to a hotel. Plus it was like cold. I wasn't used to like high desert, and summertime it's hot in the day, cold, there's forest fire, damage everywhere. So we went to a hotel, paid for 2 weeks, or 1 week or 2 weeks, and then we had established a P.O. box because my dad was mailing me some stuff that I needed to sign, dealing with my mother's estate, and then we had cell phone. And then we had, that's an old cell phone in the 90s. And then we had, how do you say it? I feel like I don't know how easy it was to use cell phones back then. Or car phones. Because it wasn't like it's in my pocket. It's like, comes in, like, anyways. We had a phone in the hotel room. So if we were going to look for jobs and get back into school, we had paid for that box. So we had an address, a physical address, a mailing address, and 2 phones. At least, so they're like, get out. We call the police on you. Get out. And that's how I also got arrested in Illinois. We went to go get gas, and we were together, and they called the police on us as soon as we got there. This was at that hotel. I think that was the first night. I don't even think we got to sleep. And imagine being homeless, paying for 2 weeks, not having any money, using like the last year money, and trying to get a shower, get some food, watch TV, get in a clean bed. So a lot of places have laundry, let alone, like, it's not like a luxurious vacation. That was like, we were living there. We were going to go look, like back in the day, you looked in the phone book and called operator to ask. We already looked up some stuff because I had internet in Michigan. Look up how to get into college, get financial aid. So we were serious about going back to school, and we had this lady wreck it. And we just drove, and we just said, Arizona's not the place for us. And plus, we were an interracial couple. I don't know what this blonde lady's problem was. My ex-husband, we fled him because he had some issues, but for the most part, he was shy and soft-spoken. He was big and tall, but he was not big, but he was tall and lanky, but he was very soft-spoken, kind of like my son is like that now. A very soft voice and thoughtful, thinking before speaking. So, maybe that was the wrong thing to say, but who knows what she said to him first. That would have been something that God could intervene, but hey, maybe we would have got killed. I don't know. We don't know what that could have saved us from, but it definitely made going back to school, getting our degrees, getting my class that I missed, my internship, done. We liked the weather, and we couldn't make it. We couldn't make it because somebody else made a decision when we did nothing wrong. So, and I don't know if somebody else, maybe another tenant called. Like I said, when I hang out with people, I feel like the Beverly Hillbillies. So, we're coming into town. I got my pigs and my goats. Like, what are you talking about? I can't bring this in the grocery store. This is my companion animal. Like, I'm not trying to make fun. But I'm just like, y'all, I'm telling you, just because I can get a medical degree and license doesn't mean that I ain't what my mom was calling me as a hillbilly. Like, I'm more of like a hippie type. I'm not like a hateful. There's some hateful conservative type people that will mess you up. In certain situations that leave you alone when you're leaving them alone. That's what I don't like about that I don't like to stereotype, but I don't like that. I'm trying to say that. That's how I'm like. That's how I was born, and that's how I gravitated to when I was raised. So I'm gonna make a quick video and go to the USPS